If you've never owned livestock, let me tell you something. There's no force on earth quite like a herd of angry longhorns. And apparently, the HOA that moved in next door to my ranch never got that memo. I'm Hank, third-generation rancher. My spread covers 800 acres, half pasture, half wooded, with a creek that feeds a big pond. Right on my fence line sits a fancy new subdivision called Silver Pines Estates. Of course, it came with a shiny HOA, the kind that holds bake sales to buy new speed bumps and fines you for your grass being a quarter-inch too tall. For a while, they left me alone. My cattle and I minded our own business. That changed the day their HOA board president, Brenda, decided her brand new community needed a private pool. Naturally, the best spot for it? My barnyard. One Friday, I got back from the feed store to find half my old hay barn gone. Bulldozers were sitting on my land, concrete markers staked out in a perfect rectangle. A couple of sweaty contractors told me they were clearing the site for the Silver Pines community pool. I about choked on my sweet tea. Turns out, the HOA's genius lawyer found some ancient plat line in the county records and decided my barn sat 6 feet onto their side. They took that as a green light to bulldoze the whole thing without a word to me. I called Brenda that night. She was all attitude and legalese. She told me if I had a problem, I could take it up with the county. Meanwhile, the HOA would proceed as planned. They'd even thrown my old barn wood in a dumpster. Big mistake. I called my lawyer first thing Monday. He pulled every deed, plat, and easement on file. Turns out my family's owned that patch since 1953. The plat line they used was outdated by decades. They were trespassing, plain and simple. But while the lawyers drafted the cease and desist, I figured I'd send a message in a language Brenda couldn't ignore: hooves and horns. I swung open the pasture gates and let my horned army, 25 Texas Longhorns, wander right into the construction site. They didn't charge, they didn't trample. They did what cows do best. Stomped the ground, knocked over the survey stakes, fertilized everything in sight, and refused to leave. When Brenda showed up screaming in her minivan, my biggest bull, Rufus, took one look at her HOA sign and flopped right down in the middle of her future pool. Animal control showed up, then left just as fast when they realized my herd was legally on my land. The HOA called the sheriff. The sheriff just chuckled. Well, ma'am, they're his cows, and it's his pasture. 2 weeks later, the contractors quit. They refused to pour concrete around 2,000-pound horned obstacles. The HOA board held an emergency meeting by Brenda's Lexus SUV, which also got a nice dent when Rufus scratched his head on it. By the time my lawyer was done, the HOA not only had to pay for my barn in full, every nail and beam, but also owed me triple damages for trespass and destruction of property. They canceled the pool plan altogether. Brenda stepped down as president last month. Rumor is she's listing her house and moving somewhere cows can't ruin her community. Meanwhile, my new barn's twice the size, built right back on the old spot. And Rufus and the gang? They're still wandering the fence line, just in case Brenda or her clipboard ever come sniffing around again. Lesson learned: Silver Pines. Never pick a fight with a rancher who owns a horned army and knows how to turn them loose.